Ferrari, unquestionably the most famous and evocative team in Formula 1. Mention their name and the mind conjures up success in every generation of the sport. The trademark scarlet red tearing up the tarmac among a sea of dull pretenders. The Tifosi make Monza a stronghold of passionate and terrifying support, striking fear into anyone who dares to try take their crown away as the best of the best. Everybody wants to be a Ferrari driver. Well, that's what the marketing team would have you believe anyway. The real story of Ferrari is quite different. It paints a picture of a team who are stubborn, arrogant, and will always do things the Ferrari way, which has proven to be the wrong way outside of 3 eras of success in the mid-60s, the late 70s and most of the 80s, and most recently the Schumacher years in the 2000s. For a team with the reputation they have, and having been in Formula 1 since its inception, you think that they would have a better hit rate than 16 Constructors' Championships in 72 seasons. For context, Mercedes have completed in roughly a fifth of the races Ferrari have, yet have exactly half of the number of Constructors' Championships. Their hit rate is shocking. 2023 has already gotten off to a very rocky start for the Scuderia, with new team principal Fred Vasseur heading into a team that had unquestionably thrown away a championship to Red Bull Racing and Max Verstappen with a bit of a whimper the previous season. Morale must have been on the floor, and happy-go-lucky personality like Vasseur was exactly what the doctor ordered to lift the mood. That's not really how it's panned out though. Initially positive in his assessment of the team, Vasseur mentioned that he would not be making any drastic decisions regarding personnel until the end of the 2023 season, but he would be asking everybody to raise their game. Vasseur said every single area of every single team has to improve. This is important. It's the DNA of my business. We need to have the approach to try to do a better job tomorrow than we have done today. And it's not just the race engineer or the chief of aero, it has to come from every person in the company, including the production. If the guy in the production team can produce a bit faster, or a bit lighter, or a bit cheaper, it will be a support for the development of the car. We have to send this kind of mindset to every single team member. Simple stuff, right? Team is underperforming relative to its resources and expectations. Just ask people to work a bit harder. Well, apparently this little request has not went down well at all at the Italian team, with a number of staff deciding to leave from the R&D team, including Head of Vehicle Development David Sanchez, who's decided to jump ship and join the Ailing McLaren team, potentially Assistant Team Principal and Race Director Lauren Meeks, and that's before we even mention the team is also currently under a ransomware attack, which, if you're conspiratorially minded, is very conveniently timed. He's also immediately tried to rectify the glaring strategy blunders that plagued Ferrari's 2022 campaign by moving trackside head of strategy Inaki Rueda to a factory role, and bringing in Raven Jane to a trackside role. This element is something that is clearly taking some time to bed in, as was seen in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, where Leclerc was told to push between the safety car lines in an attempt to get ahead of Hamilton in the bedlam of the safety car pit stops. However, Leclerc was visibly angered by this call, as in his estimation, it came far too late for him to be able to do what was asked of him.
Xavi, you should tell me that before.
However, this is an element that will take a bit of time to gel, and it won't be put to the test too much in 2023, because let's face it, Ferrari are not going to be challenging Red Bull for race wins. Vasseur has also hinted that the strategy calls are a far deeper issue, saying that trackside calls are just the tip of the iceberg regarding strategy. So what next for the Scuderia? Where do they go from here? The fact of the matter here is that Vasseur has clearly identified some deep-seated institutional flaws in how Ferrari is run, and has already gone about trying to change things for the better. Since the era of Brawn, Byrne and Tutt, we have not seen Ferrari do anything close to hitting heady heights again. Sure, you can talk about Raikkonen's championship and Massa's nearly championship, but that can absolutely be put down to echoes of the structure put in place by the aforementioned trilogy. Post-glory years, Fernando Alonso at the peak of his powers oh so nearly brought the title back to Modena, and at times carried the entire factory on his back through some superhuman performances, but was unable to. Notably in 2012 when he got stuck behind Vitaly Petrov, enabling another failed Ferrari saviour in Sebastian Vettel to win the championship in his Red Bull. Incidentally, Vettel not working out of Ferrari is one of the great cosmic failures the universe has ever provided. Trying to emulate his hero and mentor in Michael Schumacher, but failing due to his own mistakes, which could arguably be put down to the fact that Seb was having to drive the car, figure out race strategy all by himself, all while battling Lewis Hamilton in the middle of the Merc dominance of the early turbo hybrid era. He was provided with a good car for his fight, so that wasn't the issue. The issue again came with the finer points of strategy, constantly being let down, passive calls, and a very heavy reliance on the wait and see approach. Vasseur has clearly set his eyes on upsetting the apple cart of Ferrari. This is a good sign because the people who are there have not been up to the task. It's as simple as that. He's trying to break the cycle that has plagued some of the greatest drivers Formula 1 has ever seen and reform Ferrari into a modern Formula 1 team rather than the arrogant our way or the highway outfit they've been since their inception. Ferrari are one of the institutions of Formula 1 and indeed motorsport at large. But are they a great team? Absolutely not. Vasseur is coming into Ferrari at perhaps their most hostile. A prodigal son in Charles Leclerc has risen through the academy ranks to lead them back to their glory days. But now they're seemingly further away than they ever have been in recent memory. Vasseur is aiming to eradicate the culture of coasting on the past that is clearly omnipresent at the red team. The question now becomes, will Leclerc have the patience to wait around long enough for these seeds to bear the fruit of a championship? Do you agree with anything I've said? Probably not. So why not leave us a comment and we can have a big old civil chat in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more of this sort of thing from us as the season ticks on. But for now, it's goodbye from me and the 41 and 3. Have a good one.